Our next presenter is from Crucial Data Solutions. He is Cody Wilkie, Director of Quality Assurance. He's going to provide a live demo of TrialKIt, showing you how you can keep your clinical research ahead of the curve with its end-to-end capabilities designed for today's fast-paced research demands. Welcome, Cody.
Perry, thanks for the intro. I'm with Crucial Data Solutions, the maker of TrialKIt, a mobile, web, and wearable-based data collection platform. Today, I'll be showing you the IRT portion of the platform. It can be used as either a standalone integratable solution, or even better, as a component of our whole environment. In instances where more of a unified solution is required. Just a quick bit about our company, and we do have a poll question, just a quick call out on that. If you just could take a couple seconds as we go through this, that'll stay up on your screen to go through as I progress. Just through a couple slides here before we jump into a demo. A quick bit about Crucial Data Solutions. It is 15 years in the industry, a US-based, privately held organization with a breadth of experience behind it, a product team that has been around in the industry for decades. The TrialKIt product itself is based around the globe, used by hundreds of sites. Today, 30,000 users and counting around the world. It's used in preclinical and academic to clinical trials, even seeing a growing presence in the worlds of registries and real world evidence, mainly due to participant engagement capabilities, but today we'll just be focused on the IRT portion. With our breadth of experience in so many of these areas, the platform has really grown to a wide range of capabilities, built from the ground up to seamlessly work together. All of these things you're seeing on the slide here, they're not individual components that are just integrated together loosely, as an afterthought. They're blended capabilities. Again, they're built from the ground up in one platform. And so many of these can be used as standalone functions, IRT being one of those. But we recognize that modern day e-clinical studies, they need IRT really built into the larger data capture component and not simply integrated as a disparate system. And so that's what I want to show you today. With that, I'll go ahead and pull up my screen here. And as we go through this, and you could see on that previous slide as well, that TrialKIt is a very mobile-centric platform. And so I'm going to be showing you both a lot of the functions both on mobile and on a web browser, traditional web browser, as we go through this. So, and I'll just show these in parallel. What I'm doing right now is I'm just reflecting my phone on the screen so you can see most of it here, I think, assuming everybody can see both of those. Get that in place. I'll try and use my mouse to show you my finger where it's tapping. That can be tough. But we'll start out by looking at randomization and then how product tracking is tied into that, because randomization is often an important part of the product tracking itself and inventory workflows. And so we're kind of thinking that although they can be used just one or the other, but we're going to think of this as a unified approach on both of those. So I'm going to start out by discussing randomization, then we'll look at the product tracking part. Everything that I'm going through today too is it's totally controlled by the users in a no-code environment with really user-friendly building tools. So this isn't stuff that's configured on the back end by Crucial Data Solutions. It's all upfront and configurable by our customers. Whether that be the sponsor doing it in-house or service providers doing it for them. Okay. So with that, let's take a look at randomization. I've got the phone up here on the screen. I'm going to assume the role of like a coordinator, somebody at the site. Here on the web, I'll kind of assume more of an administrator where we can look at configurations. And so what I'll start by doing is just looking at a randomization. Obviously, I'm unblinded here, so I have the capability of viewing various reports and the actual allocation slots that are available. I can do that from both the web browser, or I could pull my tablet over here on the screen too as an administrator. open up the randomization right from, I could be on my phone too, right from my pocket, click on one of the randomizations that are set up here and view that same allocation list just right from a mobile device. So again, I'm unblinded, so I'm seeing these slots and I'm seeing what's being filled up. The tool allows for uploading these blocked randomizations into the system. Most randomizations are blocked, but TrialKIt supports multi-stratified as well. Here we're doing a single layer stratification on this target area variable that's collected in the study, but there's really no limits to that. And in addition, you could have multiple randomizations running in parallel on a given study, or maybe you're randomizing at visit 1 and then again at visit 3 down the road. So let's walk through how this works, how this plays out by somebody at the site. I could be doing it just on a traditional web browser here, drilling into a subject's casebook and opening up a form that is being collected on some visit where randomization gets triggered. Here I've just got a generic form titled randomization, but really you can trigger it on anything, any form within the study that's being collected. And just an example of a form, this is definitely not hard-coded this way. These are totally configurable and can be set up in any number of ways. Here like I said, I'll use my phone to assume the role of somebody at the site. And I'll go into the subject casebooks, just like we're at on the web browser in the background. I'm just doing it from my mobile device as well. Drill into subject 2 here. Here I can see the visit schedule on my narrow phone screen, but it's scrollable. And here I've got the same form. Now let's go ahead and randomize this subject. So I've got some set of choices I need to make. And in this case, that's all I need to do. I've got some other components on the screen that are just auto-filled. You can see right when I do that, and again, this can be set up in different ways. In this case, it's providing an opportunity for unblinding, emergency unblinding as well. That doesn't have to be available. But what I really want to point out is, it returns a randomization ID automatically. It even assigns product to me from the study's inventory tracker. And we'll take a look in a couple of minutes how that works, how that's tied together in different ways of assigning product and tracking those. But we can see the subject here was at least randomized. And again, I'm a blinded user in this case as the site user, but administratively I can come in and I could view that randomization table. And this is just one of a few different reports that are available to show randomization slots. And I can see, well, down here, this is the one we just now randomized. Okay, so it took that second slot, and that was just all done real time, right when the form was saved. Okay. One of the big benefits of having this built in the same place where you're collecting all this other data is, when we look at this subject that was just randomized, and I'll tap done here, I'll escape to the subject casebook where we can see all this other stuff being collected. Or if I'm doing it, via the web, I can do the same thing. Drill into this subject that was just randomized, and everything's it's intelligently dynamic. So the platform knows how this subject was randomized. So everything else can be driven off of that. Whether or not maybe the 6-month follow-up is only being collected for subjects allocated to the treatment group, for example, or certain forms or fields on forms are being collected based on that subject's allocation. So that's really the benefit, underlying benefits of having it in the same platform to do the randomization where the data collection is happening. Yeah. We took a look at the randomization report. Like I said, those allocations are also available based on blinding. Even the data exports are smart in terms of who's doing the exporting to show anything that's related to the randomization in order to enforce blinding appropriately. Okay. Also, as all these activities occur, notifications are going out on subjects being allocated. You get to define, who gets those notifications, and even more so, I could come into my randomization table here just administratively. Again, I'm just going to pull it up on the tablet here, and actually I got to refresh this because we got a new allocation in there. Oh, I switched roles. Let me refresh that. We'll just come in here and take a look at the same function. There is a method of unallocating subjects as well. So if any of these slots need to be unallocated, maybe it was an accidental randomization or something like that, anybody can come to the tool to unallocate these slots as needed for various reasons. And again, that's permission, so it doesn't have to be something that's made available. All right, so now let's kind of transition to the product tracking side. This subject here was randomized. We saw it got some product. Okay, if I look at, I'm going to assume the role of a coordinator. And just via the web here, I'm going to go into the inventory at my site. Here I can see a list of products that have been distributed to the site. Now, product tracking, starts with lists that get uploaded into the platform and can be updated over time. As sites are activated for the study, the system will fill sites up to the ceiling levels that are defined via the algorithms, and sites will then accept items as they come in. So if I'm a user at a site, which I'm assuming right now, I've got a couple things that just came in via FedEx, right? I'm going to accept those into my inventory. Okay, I can do that here via the app as well. And I can even do it via scanning. So I could, if I get something via FedEx, I could open up my camera and just scan that. If assuming it comes with a barcode or something, I could just scan that right into inventory. Okay. I could manually do it as well, like manage inventory, take any incoming products and accept them there, just like we did on the web. What that does is it makes them available for participants. I can see 2 of these participants have already been allocated to drug or product, whatever the study's tracking here. All these other items, they're available to assign out. Okay. But you can see what happened earlier when we randomized, the system automatically grabbed the item, but it did it intelligently. It wasn't just grabbing it off this open list. It was, maybe there's different product types in this list. I can't see them because I'm a blinded user. We know from looking at the randomization earlier, there's placebo and treatment here. It's smartly grabbing the product that is placebo or treatment and assigning that to the subject. Okay, so that's an automated function. Now, once the floor levels are reached, as this site allocates product, either automatically or manually, and I'll show you the manual approach in a minute, that also tracks the floor level, so it'll refill the site at the appropriate times. So it is sensitive to that. I can look at, from the app here, I can also view that same inventory list. I can see what's allocated where, subject number 2 got this study product here. Again, I'm blinded in this case. If I look at that administratively, let me switch my role here to an administrator. And I'm just on my phone. Earlier I was on the tablet. I open up that product list, go to my inventory, and I can see site levels across the entire study or just by site. Let's pick all sites here. I can see the levels of product, in local inventory, things that are in shipping, awaiting acceptance, things that are allocated to participants or rejected by the site for whatever reason, damaged or lost. All the other configuration tools are available here as well. Okay. You can the site can also manually assign product. You could have a form that, maybe during like a procedure or something, the investigator is pulling something off the shelf, so it's not automatically being assigned. We might want to scan a barcode. I'll just redo this one so you can kind of see how that works. If I just open up my camera, scan a barcode right in, it pulls the text into that field. But here I've got a field where I'm selecting some product off the shelf. I'm going to select these 2 that I just grabbed, and now those are allocated to the participant as soon as I submit this record. So there's different approaches for the product tracking and assignments, but just wanted to present a few of the possibilities that we like to highlight today. So again, that really wraps up how we approach IRT as quickly as I could do in just a few minutes. But if there's any questions, feel free to send those over. Again, just to highlight the benefits, IRT for TrialKIt is built into the larger ecosystem so that the trial can smartly run with all the other information molded in.
Thanks, Cody. You're still sharing your screen, so you could stop doing that. And then there you are. Okay, I'll go to a question. So this question's about IRT specific data, because I know you said this is standalone, but also for your entire suite. What kind of reporting and analytics capabilities does the TrialKIt have? Great
question. So there's a few product tracking specific reports and randomization reports just show those, and those are canned to show not just per study metrics on quantities and who's allocated to numbers allocated to different groups or assigned to different product types, or the levels at the sites that we saw earlier. But AI is a big focus for us. In fact, if anybody was on the webinar yesterday, we were looking more at the focus on data collection, and I actually was able to demonstrate our AI reporting tool, and how you can just query the system asking for those decision-driven components that you need to know. So our AI reporting tool can reach into our IRT platform and pull whatever data that you're querying. And that's something that it's developing fast, and it's still in its early stages, as you know, across industries. But we're excited about where that's going with TrialKIt.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Great presentation. Thank you. Cody Wilkie, he's the Director of Quality Assurance for Crucial Data Solutions. Great stuff. Thank you for being with us.